Chaos, music thundered from every direction, drowning out every word, every scream, every plea. Jungkook, Jin, V, and Jimin split through the crowd, waving between mafia elites, lost in intoxicated celebration. Wine was gone. Jungkook's eyes scanned the dance floor, the corners, the corridors. Now where? Wine? Wine, where are you? But it was pointless. The bass of music rattled the air. No one heard anything but the throb of the party. One by one, they regrouped at the corner of the hall, breathless and burning with frustration. Jungkook clenched his fist. Jungkook, she's not anywhere. But where the hell could she go? Jin's face was grim. Jin, you don't think you're that, or Edwin? Jimin interrupted. Jimin, but they are both right here. V narrowed his eyes. V, it doesn't have to be them directly. What about their man? Jungkook's jaw tightened. Jungkook, there is no time. They could have gotten for it. Without wasting another second, Jungkook barked an order into his earpiece. Jungkook, search every corner, every hallway. Don't let anyone leave this building. I want her found in 10 minutes. All his men snapped into motion. Across the hall, laughter echoed, drinks clinked, the night burned on. Edwin leaned closer to his father. Edwin, what if Jungkook tries something? Mr. Jeon, his expression calm, sinister, smirked. Mr. Jeon, he won't. He's too distracted now. Edwin raised a brow. Edwin, what did you do? Mr. Jeon gave a slight chuckle. Mr. Jeon, don't think so hard, son. I have already done the thinking. You just enjoy tonight. You got what you always wanted. Edwin's eyes sparkled. Edwin, love you, Dad. You made our dream come true. Mr. Jeon touched his shoulder with pride. Mr. Jeon, love you too, my dear child. Now if you will excuse me, I have things to handle. Edwin, you are leaving already. Mr. Jeon, I must. Enjoy the spotlight. And just like that, he disappeared into the night. Jungkook's passion had shattered. His fury shimmered like the surface like a volcano about to erupt. Jungkook, so many men, and not only of you has a single clue. Why do I even keep you around? For decoration? Everyone stood silent, head low. His soldiers knew the drill. When Jungkook reached this point, blood usually followed. He pulled out his pistol slowly, letting it hang loosely by his side. Jungkook, 30 minutes. He growled, I want results. Anyone who comes back empty-handed tonight will not go back home alive. Fear rolled through the group like smoke choking a fire. Jimin stepped forward, placing a firm hand on Jungkook's shoulder. Jimin, this isn't the moment to lose control. Think clearly. That's the only way you will get her back. Jungkook's breathing was heard. His grip on the gun tightened. Jungkook, there is no intel, no trace. Jin stepped closer, calm and calculated. Jin, there will be. Maybe we are missing something. Think, retrace the moment. She was standing right next to us. Someone planned this. The group fell into silence, eyes sharp, mind spinning. A puzzle had just been thrown at them, and one was the missing piece. The room was pitch black. One's consciousness stirred slowly, like surfacing from the depth of a drowning nightmare. Her lashes flutter and faint streaks of light creeps through the crack beneath the door, casting ghostly rays across the floor. Her body was stiff, laying atop an unfamiliar bed. She blinked hard, the fog in her mind beginning to clear, and then it all came rushing back. Flashback, the hall, the announcement, the applause. Everyone had risen from their seats in anticipation. One had been standing silently beside Jungkook, her gaze fixed ahead. That's when she felt it, a cold hand on her shoulder. She turned sharply. A man, his face masked, his presence suffocating. Before she could react, before she could even breathe, a cloth was pressed hard over her mouth. The scent hit her instantly, chemical, sharp, sickening. She struggled, vowed to scream, but no sound escaped her lips. Her voice, always silent, failed her once again. Her limbs grew weak, her vision blurred, and then darkness. End of flashback. A terrified gasp escaped Wine's sleep as memory met reality. She sat upright in bed, her breath coming in uneven waves. Her fingers trembled as she pushed herself up and stumbled toward the door. Maybe it was open, maybe someone was nearby. She pressed her hand against the cold handle. It didn't budge, locked. Panic clawed at her throat. Her eyes searched the room, desperate to find anything she could use to break the lock. A lamp, a chair, anything. But the room was disturbingly bare. She tried for minutes, maybe more. She yanked, twisted, even kicked at the door. Nothing worked. Finally, drained and defeated, she slumped back onto the bed. Her lips were dry, her heartbeat erratic. That's when she heard it. Footsteps. Soft, calculated, growing louder with each second. She froze. The door cracked, the lock clicked, and it slowly swung open. Light flooded in, blinding, cruel. Wine's eyes darted upward, and then her heart nearly stopped. It was him. The one face she feared more than anyone else, Mr. Jeon. He stood in the doorway like a phantom risen from her worst nightmares, his expression twisted in something that could have been satisfaction, a malice. One's body went numb, her hands trembled, her knees nearly gave out, because now she knew this wasn't just a kidnapping, this was the beginning of something far darker. Mr. Jeon stood in the doorway, his shadow stretching long across the cold floor. Mr. Jeon, finally, he said with a slow smile, we get to talk in private. It's been so long since I last saw you like this. Wine's entire body froze. His voice was calm, but it chilled her to the bone. Mr. Jeon, what? You are not happy to see me? I have missed you terribly, you know. Wine instinctively took a step back. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears. Mr. Jeon, amused, took a step forward. Mr. Jeon, oh, darling, are you scared of me? He whispered with mock concern. Don't be, I won't hurt you. Not unless you give me a reason. One stood silently, her feet clenched at her sides. She didn't want to hear another word from him. Her heart rate burned, but her body was too weak, her spirits too shaken, to react. Mr. John tilted his head, observing her lack of response, and then he said something that made Wine look straight at him. Mr. John, you know, I miss arguing with your mother. Wine's eyes sweetened, her lips trembled. He had said it casually, like it was just a passing thought. Mr. Jeon, she never imagined she would leave this world so suddenly, he continued with a sickening calmness. But oh, she loved you so much, poor woman. Tears streamed down one's cheeks. She could not believe what she was hearing. She didn't want to believe it, at least parts of it. Mr. Jeon, aren't you curious? Jeon asked. Don't you want to know how she died? One didn't speak. She just looked at him, broken and silent. Mr. Jeon, there was chaos, he said, walking slowly in a circle around her. Gunfire everywhere, your mother. She had just entered the waiting hall. One moment she was standing there, and the next. He raised his hand in the air as if mimicking a shot. Mr. John banged a bullet straight into her chest. She collapsed screaming, never stood up again. Wine's knees wobbled, her hand clenched into tight fists, knuckles turning white, veins flushing violently. Her eyes had turned red, the grip and rage colliding like a storm within her. Mr. Jeon, want to know who pulled the trigger? Jeon's voice dropped low. Wine slowly lifted her head. Mr. Jeon smirked. Jungkook, the bullet that ended her life, came from his gun. Wine's breath caught. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. She stared at him in disbelief. Everything around her like it was crumbling. Mr. Jeon, you could not even say goodbye to her. How tragic, but don't worry, he added smoothly. Jungkook might be on his way here soon. Maybe you would like a chance at revenge. Why didn't respond? She just stood there, head lowered, lips trembling. Mr. Jeon's phone buzzed. He snatched it up angrily. Mr. Jeon, what do you mean it's not done yet? He barked into the receiver. Do I have to do everything myself? Useless idiots. He ended the call with a curse under his breath. Then turning to Wyan, he stepped close. He lifted her chin roughly with his fingers, forcing her to look up at him. Mr. Jeon, stay strong, darling, he said, a smile tugging at the corner of his lips. We will see each other again soon. And with a mockingly tender pat on her cheek, he turned and walked out, the door slamming shut behind him. Wyan stood frozen, her back straight, her tears still falling. But something had changed. A storm was raging inside her. Each morning, after searching, finally got the information about Wyan inside. Jungkook, Jin, Jimin, and V sat tense and focused. Finally, they had found a lead on Wyan's location. Jungkook, drive faster. We don't have much time. Driver, yes, boss. The vehicle roared ahead, slicing through the night like a bullet. Everyone inside was armed and ready. Their eyes spoke of desperation, anger, and a growing dread. Moments later, they arrived at a decrepit-looking building, silent, abandoned, and oddly out of place. They moved in quickly, searching every corner, but there was nothing until in the basement parking, a rusty old door caught their attention. They slowly approached, weapons in hand. The air was heavy, reeking of dampness and decay. They started searching separately. They pushed the door open and entered a narrow hallway. The deeper they went, the darker and more disturbing it became. It was as if they were walking straight into hell. The silence was suffocating. Jungkook pushed open a door at the end of the hall. As he stepped in, the door slammed shut behind him. He turned swiftly, gun raised, only to see a silhouette. Then the lights flickered on. It was him, his father, Mr. Jeon. Mr. Jeon smirking. Well, look who came crawling back. Missing daddy, are we? Jungkook coldly. I am not here to chat. Where is Wyan? Bring her out now. Mr. Jeon, you think I bought her here for you? How adorable. Jungkook rolling. Then I will find her myself. With rage boiling in his veins, Jungkook punched him across the face. Jeon stumbled back, blood dripping from his sleeve. He whipped it and stared at the smear on his fingers, then smiled darkly. Mr. Jeon, looks like you have grown stronger, but not stronger than. Then came the assault. Mr. Jeon launched himself at Jungkook, beating him with all his might. Jungkook fought back just as fiercely. In the chaos, Jungkook's gun slipped from his grip and clattered to the ground. The fight turned brutal. Soon several of Jeon's men flooded into the room, joining in. It was too many. Even Jungkook could not hold on. They pinned him down. Blood gushed from his nose, his mouth. His body was bruised and torn, his breathing heavy. Still struggled, trying to break free. Mr. Jeon commanding, bring in the others, and they did. Jin, Jimin, and V were dragged in, beaten and blood-red. Their hands and feet were tied. They had been ambushed by Jeon's men, outnumbered and overpowered. Mr. Jeon had not come with just a few men. He had brought an army, not just loyalists, but remnant of an old mafia regime he once ruled. He stood before the four of them, triumphant. Mr. Jeon laughing. Ah, look at this. Four little birds in one case. Feels like the old days. Let's have a little reunion, shall we? The room reeked of blood and betrayal. The air was thick with hate. Their eyes burned with disgust. Jungkook, spitting blood. You betrayed me. You betrayed mom. You disgust me. Calling you my father is the biggest shame of my life. You are worse than an animal. His voice trembled with fury. His entire body was shaking, not from fear, but from the rage he could barely contain. He thrust against the man holding him down, eyes locked onto Mr. Jeon like a predator ready to kill. But he could not move, not yet. Mr. Jeon defensively, when did I ever betray you? I never deceive you. Are you out of your mind? Jungkook coldly, drop the drama. That act doesn't suit you anymore. You can fool the world with your little performances, but not me, not anymore. Mr. Jeon looked back at him with innocent white eyes, pretending as if he didn't understand anything. Jungkook gritting his teeth. How long are you going to keep up this helpless victim act? Mr. John offended tone. Excuse me? What exactly did I act? I did what I had to do. I did what was right. His word was like poison. Everyone in the room, Jin, Jimin, V, stared at him with sheer disgust. Their face twisted with irritation and but Mr. John, he didn't care, not even a flicker of guilt. Then he dropped the bombshell calmly, cruelly. Mr. Jeon, listen carefully. I'm not your father. I'm your uncle. Your real parents died a long time ago. Boom. The world shattered around Jungkook. His body froze, his eyes widened in horror. His mind went blank. He could not speak, he could not think. Everything spiraled into chaos. His thoughts collided, tangled, and shattered. What was he hearing? The man he had loathed, hated with every drop of blood, wasn't even his father. Suddenly, all his emotions, anger, guilt, hatred, confusion turned into a storm. His knees felt weak, his chest heaved, his heart pounded like a war drum's. Tears began slipping down his cheeks, silent, bitter, and then Mr. Jeon slowly walked toward him. He knelt down in front of Jungkook, face to face. Mr. Jeon softly, why are you crying, son? What I said is the truth. Your father, he died in an accident with your mother. I'm his twin brother. Even since we were kids, he always got everything first. Power, love, recognition. And I was always neglected. I was always left behind. So I made a decision. If the world didn't give me the throne, I would take. His voice turned colder. Mr. Jeon, they kicked me out of speaking the truth, but I fought back. I planned for years, suffered in silence, manipulated everything, and finally I got what I deserved. He smirked, standing up proudly. Mr. Jeon triumphantly, I was the Mafia king, and now my son Edwin was inherited the empire. He threw his head back and laughed loud, arrogant, unhinged. The room went silent, tense, toxic. Everything felt upside down. Jungkook sat frozen in place, bloodied, confused, broken. This truth, it hit harder than any bullet ever could. The man he hated most wasn't his father, and the father he never knew was long. Now, buried under the weight of betrayal and grief, Jungkook's breath grew slow. He didn't know whether to scream, cry, or collapse. Everything was spinning, the walls, the memory, the pain. Suddenly, the sharp sound of approaching footsteps echoed through the hall. Everyone turned instinctively, and there he was, Edwin. Edwin, Dad, you are here, he said, smirking as he walked in. Mr. John turned with a smile. Mr. John, oh my dear son, yes, I had some business to take care of. Edwin looked around, scanning the room filled with tense faces. Edwin, seems like everyone's already here. You could have at least told me. You know, I enjoyed a little drama too. Mr. John chuckled. Mr. John, today is your day. You should enjoy it. I just thought I would get things started. Edwin slowly walked up to Jungkook. With a sly smile, he raised Jungkook's chin, forcing him to look into his eyes. Jungkook didn't flinch, but his eyes burned with fury. Edwin, at least, he whispered, at least I get to see you broken, helpless, on your knees, just like I always dreamed. Tell me, Jungkook, how would you prefer to die? Mr. Jeon chimed in as casually as if they were discussing tea. Mr. Jeon, yes, I have been wondering that myself. What would be the best way to end them all, Edwin? But don't worry, Jungkook. We will take good care of your sweet little wife after you are gone. She won't suffer much. Hearing that, Jungkook's entire body tensed, rage surged through him like wildfire. With a sudden burst of strength, he shoved the man holding him aside and hurled a solid punch straight at Edwin's face. Edwin stumbled back. Jungkook, say one more word about her, he growled, and I will set this entire place on fire. Mr. Jeon raised a hand, signaling the end of patience. Mr. Jeon, enough. We have wasted enough time. They all die tonight. Suddenly a noise interrupted them. All eyes turned. Wyan. She was being dragged by Mr. Jeon's man. Her clothes were dirty and torn, hair tangled and wild. Her eyes were wide but unreadable. She looked like a ghost of her former self, and yet she walked on her own, calm, silent. Mr. Jeon smiled. Mr. Jeon, why keep her away? I thought. Let her witness it all. Let it all end together. One stood among them. Then room fell quiet. And then she saw it, a gun laying on the floor. No one noticed it until she bent down and picked it up, gasp and panic. Two guards rushed toward her, but stopped cold, because one raised the gun and pointed it straight at Jungkook. Time stopped. Jin, Jimin and Fee were frozen. Jungkook stared at her, confused, betrayed, speechless. The barrel of the gun was unwavering, aimed at his heart. Hwan's face was blank, emotionless, deadly. Mr. Jeon clapped his hands. Mr. Jeon, so you want to do it yourself? Impressive. You want revenge, don't you? Then do it. Finish him. Edwin and Mr. Jeon looked thrilled, victory in their eyes, but before anyone could move,